All right, welcome everyone and welcome Tracy. I have here the pleasure of speaking with a wonderful woman today, sharing her insights and her story of becoming a registered health coach. So, welcome Tracy today with me.
Thank you, Simona. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And yes, as to begin with, let me tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
And then I will also ask you some specific questions to yourself and to your journey so that everyone can have a little bit of idea of
Yeah.
what led you where you are right now.
Yeah.
So for everyone, let me tell you a little bit words about Tracy, who she is and who she also helps. So as I mentioned already, Tracy is registered health coach who helps exhausted, overwhelmed, low in energy women over 40 to sleep better so that they can wake up feeling good, feeling well rested, and more energized for their busy days. She is passionate about helping people who know what to do but don't know how to do it and how to do it consistently. Tracy helps women overcome the barriers that keep them stuck, turning good intentions into lasting habits that support their sleep so that they can feel themselves again and have a happier and a healthier life. Tracy is also a pharmacist. Her 5 year journey with the long COVID led her to transition to help people struggling with their health, offering them specific conditions and compassion, empathy, understanding, and the support to create the life they want despite any health challenges. So Tracy loves to travel to sun, see beach destinations, loves flowers and flowers photography.
Yeah.
What a wonderful interest that you have also in this specific field.
Yeah, thank
Oh.
you.
Most welcome. I'm very happy to have you once again here. So Tracy, if you can tell us, besides this journey, besides this background, what led you in your life towards selecting this unique journey for health coaching?
Yeah. So it like you said in the bio, it began when I started my journey with long COVID. So at the beginning of the pandemic, 2020, I became ill. I was off sick from work for 3 months. Then I went back to work. And the first day I struggled and I was in tears on my way home because pharmacy is all I know. Pharmacy was
Mhm.
all I knew. But my body was saying, you can't, like, it was difficult. It was a challenge. My body just wanted me to sit and rest. So, as people do, as women do, I persevered and persevered and persevered. And then the following year, there was a bereavement in the family. A close family member passed away, and
Mm.
my health just went downhill. And at that point, I decided I can't keep on persevering and pushing my body. I need to do something different. So I went on a journey, having different conversations, having mentors. I had like 3 mentors, and that journey led me to find, oh, coaching. And then I again went back to LinkedIn, found some coaches, and then I found a health coach who was a pharmacist. And I'm like, what is this? And when she told me what
Mhm.
it was, I was like, this is what I've been looking for a long time, but I just didn't know the name. So I went on to
Mhm.
the training. It was an amazing course, and I learned so many things that even in pharmacy life, I was not taught. And
Mhm.
so that led me to transition to help people who are in a similar position to me. You're poorly, there's no cure, but you want more out of life. How do you do that? So health coaching helps people when they're stuck, when they feel there's nothing that they can do, but then you start to find actually there's something I can do, and then that's how your quality of life increases even when you're still going through those health challenges. So that's what led me into health coaching.
Wow, what a journey. Thank you so much. So that means like for me that sounds like as you have been, like naturally somehow being led even through the sickness that you've uncovered, like through your body,
Yeah.
that you cannot somehow heal it. You said there is no way, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Maybe what we mean by this, there is no way in the way how we would want to perceive it, or how we were been taught that it's
Yes.
ideal way or usual way how to treat
Yes.
the body, the symptoms, right? The illness
Mhm.
itself then, which obviously, as you mentioned, also incubated you through your body because
Mhm.
your body was requesting, something different.
Yes.
So I believe it might have been. Would you confirm? Like if I said that for the pharmacist, following the specific generic, maybe the way of like the treatments,
Mhm.
this perspective of becoming the health coach and seeing it from a different point of view, maybe potentially more holistic
Mhm.
in a way, in a kind, might have been transitioning also you.
Definitely, definitely. The way I see life, the way I see illness, because yes, sometimes you think you must be cured for you to live a healthy life. And sometimes you may not be cured, but you can still live a quality life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what was your way? How have you dealt, like with this specific scenario, with your own illness? What maybe you can share with the audience, what helped you apart from the classic, like way of how you would treat yourself, but to look at yourself different way. But maybe what was the first step that you've done? What was the second, like what procedures you have undergone yourself?
Yeah. So I think for me, I'm someone who has faith. And so I believed and I would pray that things would change. And I feel that was the biggest factor for me. And
Mm-hmm,
then in myself, I also became someone who was more vocal because as I said, my body wanted me to just sit and rest. So that means I needed help. So I became someone who was asking for help and looking for help. And so
mm-hmm.
that meant I'll do research as well. What can help me? What can help? Just doing a lot of research. And in that research, it helped me to take charge. I would then speak to my doctor, ask them, what can we do? And I could see they were also trying to figure out what's happening because initially we didn't know what it was. So that the faith aspect, being someone to just I was not comfortable being where I was. And I think that's really an
Mm,
important part. When you're
mm,
comfortable, then you'll just accept the negative. But when you don't accept um, that comfortable place, then you start to challenge yourself. What can I do? What more can be done? And then in doing that, I started to find different things. And then things like I had respiratory physio. So that meant going to a physiotherapist, but then one who specializes in the breathing aspect. So that
mhm,
really helped me as well. So it was a combination of many different things, but the biggest thing, yes, my faith and also just wanting more for myself and not accepting that this where my body wants me to just sit and rest. No, that's not enough for me. So just having that mindset drove me to more and more until now, thankfully, 5 years later, 6 years later, I'm now fully recovered.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Wow, this is so very interesting what you were mentioning because there are several, like areas that you are interconnecting through the physiology, also then the part of, the mental behaviors, the connection in between the mind, subconscious, conscious, or how, like you were directing your body, the whole health areas, right? The treatment. So many areas that you've combined in that kind of a journey treatment,
Yeah.
right? So that was very interesting what you mentioned also listening to our bodies,
Mhm.
but then also being aware that with our will, I believe we are above.
Yes.
Like we are above, we are the ones that we are operating that body, that then connects also then to genetics, epigenetics, working with the cells, right? So, which is also alternative, different approach.
Yeah.
Maybe you have had it also in your areas of expertise. So yeah, but let's thank you so much for sharing, and let us therefore then go back to the topic of sleeping, because this is what we want to know. Okay, so I believe that there are people that are deprivated, like from having a lack of sleep, and especially having a lack of deep sleep. Okay,
Correct.
so if you can share maybe when it comes to sleeping itself, what would you say? So why do so many women, let's target then let's talk about especially, 40 plus, but I think so already from 35 we can say that
Yeah.
we are
Yes.
getting closer. We can feel it, that, that kind of, like sleep is going, like it's going down, and it's very important for us. Okay. So why we over like 40, close to 40, feel so very exhausted when we are, like trying to also look the best ourselves, be energized, so why do we have the tendency to feel that much exhausted?
Yeah. And the reason why a lot of women will feel exhausted is one, life is busy, you're
Mm,
busy, and you're not just busy with your work. You may be busy with your family life. At this stage, also for many people, you're taking care of your elderly parents, or sometimes you have a child who has special educational needs. And then there's some habits that we've been carrying from our younger years, and your body is just growing older and it's not as efficient as it used to. So where those habits used to be okay when you're younger, you
mm,
carry them on, but your body can't keep up. So there are things we've been doing that don't serve us. They've never served us, but because we keep on doing it, at this stage when also our hormones are starting to change, the hit is more, the
mhm,
impact is more, so the exhaustion will be more. But the good news is, um, once we start to think, okay, what's making me tired? We can start to make changes. And again, what you said, our will. Sometimes you think, oh, I've always slept not so well for over 20 years. When you get comfortable with that, then you get comfortable with the exhaustion. So when you're not
mhm,
comfortable with the exhaustion, then that will set you on that path to think of different new ways that will help you. So women are exhausted because you're doing a lot, and not just in your work, but in your own self. Maybe you're going through personal challenges. The hormones are also playing a part, which is something that is not fully in our control, but we can do something. So we're being hit from different places: work stress, economic stress, your finances, your family life, your personal life. Sometimes maybe you haven't reached the milestones you wanted to reach. Maybe you wanted a family by this stage. So
mhm,
there are lots of things weighing you down, and that's where the exhaustion comes. So it's not just the physical exhaustion, the mental, the emotional, social. So we're being hit from different
mhm,
angles,
mhm,
and then the
mhm.
exhaustion leads to the result.
This is very good point. Thank you so much for, like bringing this that awareness of
Mhm.
us being hit.
Mhm.
Yes, we need to, because this also comes to, like our acceptance of the fact that this is the reality for most of us,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
That we need to at first accept. Okay, now when we, let's say, we would accept it
Mhm.
as such by listening to you and bringing this awareness. Okay, we accept it, and
Yeah.
now what we can do, like what we can do. Yes, we are being hit. Yes, we have these so many imbalances, hormonal changes, like everything is changing.
Mhm.
We have a lot of pressure, so from so many areas, also the conditions where we are at.
Mhm.
So where we should start, maybe where we should start, what can be, like that clarity that with which we may start, and what can be the first steps for us to improve the sleep, and therefore, optimize, or at first optimize the exhaustion. Yeah, we cannot eliminate it completely.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think the first thing is, like we've said, in your mind, you need to believe you can do something. If you don't believe you can do something, the battle is already you've already been defeated. So if you believe, you know what, even though I've tried different things, maybe they haven't worked, but I still believe it is possible to change, then that's a good starting place. So just check with yourself. Do I feel or do I believe I can change what's happening? Do I believe I can get to a place where I'm energetic, full of life? I feel myself again. If the answer is yes, that's the biggest battle won. If you don't feel that way, then just think of a time maybe when you had a challenge and you didn't think you could make it, but you did. So what happened then? And then that way you can use that for your exhaustion, for your sleep. So that's the first thing. The second thing is if we feel we've tried something and it's not worked and we've tried different things,
Mm.
then we can't do the same things. We need a new approach. So the new approach means sometimes, you know what, let me just take some time. Let me sit and see why am I tired? Because sometimes we are so busy and it
Mm-hmm.
means you don't have to say, okay, I'm going to sit 1 hour because I don't have 1 hour, but I'm just going to sit for maybe a moment. Why am I tired? Okay, today I didn't sleep well. I woke up, I wasn't feeling energetic. So already my day started with no energy. So what happened last night? So if we take an approach of reflection first, because we tend to do, but why are
Mm-hmm.
you doing what you're doing? So take time to think, why am I tired? Why am I exhausted? When you take that time, you start to see patterns. I didn't sleep well last night. I didn't sleep well last night because I was on Netflix watching which series, or the previous night I went out. So you can start to see, aha.
Oh.
So Saturday I went out, Sunday I went out, Monday I'm scrolling because work was so stressful. So if we sit and think and take a new approach, then that will help. So number one, believe you can make a change. Number two, take a different approach rather than do, and do all the things you've learned from social media. Sit back, reflect. Why am I tired? Then link the dots and you'll see a pattern. Once you can see what's the root, then now you can do something about it.
Wow, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. You're bringing so much natural awareness into this, like practice talk, so very clearly for us. So with this even, like imagine if we would, and maybe your clients are doing it with working with you, that they are looking in their weeks. So this is a very good approach. How many days of this week have I woken up tired and why?
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Correct.
How many days, like I can identify that I, in opposition to this, woke up fresh,
Hmm.
energized, and why was it? Why was it, right?
Yes.
What was the reason for it that I woke up like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Very good. That in that case, then we start to gain this awareness, okay? And then if you can help us, okay, we identify we are aware, we identify the triggers, the pain points,
Mhm.
what we are doing, like how we are getting in our way in general, because we are responsible for it.
Yes.
Let's accept the fact.
Yeah.
We're responsible for our sleep, for
Yeah.
our health,
Yeah.
for being energized, for everything.
Yeah.
So now, what can we do
Mhm.
to proceed with the change?
Mhm.
How to navigate us towards better sleeping habits, and releasement of exhaustion, and bringing ourselves this joy and energy.
Yeah. So to do that, like I mentioned before, we need a new approach. So part of that new approach is also doing it in a different way. So instead of do, you've been told limit your screen time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But let's start from a very pivotal point. If you start with what matters to me, why do I even want to be energized? So a woman in her 40s may say, you know what, my kids are young. I would love to play with them, but I don't have the energy. And so what's happening there? What matters to the woman is her family. So her value what matters to her is family. So if you start with family is important to me, and someone may say my health is important to me. So if your health is important to you, your values, your family is important to you, then that means it's not just saying it. Your actions have to reflect it. So day to day, is there evidence to say family is important to you? So what does that mean? I need time to spend time with my kids. I need energy because they are that age when they're still energetic. So I know I can go out or I can work till late. But if I work till late, tomorrow I'll be low in energy. Then tomorrow I can't play with my kids. So when your values start to drive your actions,
Wow.
even before you've gone to social media screening and limiting your screen time, already there's a big commitment going on in your mind. I want to play with the kids. My family is important. So this work, I know I would love to finish it, but I'm not going to work until 11 because I know by 11, example, I need to be in bed. So tomorrow I'm energized. So the approach we need to get us to that place of energy. Think of what matters to you in your life. And then
Mhm.
each day, let it show up in your day. So if health matters to you, then that means I could watch Netflix till 4 in the morning, but I will not
I will
because
not.
health matters to me. I want to wake up energized. I want to go to work focused, concentrating without memory fog. So yes, I'll leave the Netflix for the weekend. I'll go to bed on time. So even before sleep hygiene and all those things we're told to do that will help us. If you start with what matters to you in your life, then that will drive your actions day to day. And of course, you may not get it
Mhm.
100%, but as
Mhm.
you said before, if there are more days when you can live to your values, then it's a start. And then when you fall off, then you come back again. So that's the way to do it.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. But I feel we will need to learn this. We'll need to, like look at these values more frequently.
Definitely.
And then, based on it, work on our sleep habits and on, like what is depleting us, our health in general, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending, like what are the values and
Mhm.
put it on some, because sometimes, I believe that we are not that much with our consciousness,
Exactly.
like even thinking about it. And then, like not aligning our lives to that,
Yes.
just living out of a robotic, like how we are automized, to
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
like kind of follow the habits, follow the patterns, and then this is then the consequence, right? So how we with let's say, like we are becoming now different individuals with you,
Mhm.
and we are about to work within our strengths, our values, our conscious behaviors, removals of these patterns. So how we can work with our inner strengths to
Mhm.
navigate this, different journey to health, healthy sleeping, new habits. How we can do it? Then
Yeah.
okay, we are
Yeah.
learning, but now we want progression.
Yes, of course. So, like you said, it's beautiful that, sometimes we lack the awareness. So, like you said, we need to be clear what matters to you. So, maybe just have 5 things that matter to you in your life. Things that, let me just say, it's like a life. People have deal breakers in relationships. So, in your life, what must you have? So, someone may say family, health, love, fun, excitement. So, just write them down, 5 things. And then now, we need to think of our strengths as well. So let's look at example in the workplace or at home. You're somebody who does your work on time, you work to deadlines. So that means there's a time management strength or skill that you have. So how can you bring that time management when Netflix is telling you, do you want to watch the next episode? So bring that strength.
Oh yes, that's
Yeah,
very.
bring that strength of time management and say, hey, no. There's I can watch it tomorrow. I can watch it tomorrow. Sometimes some people have discipline as a strength. So how can you bring discipline when it says go to bed a regular time, wake up a regular time. So use the strengths in your other areas of life.
Mm.
Work will be a good example. Even in school, maybe you had your timetable where you do your homework, then you do your revision because exams are coming. So you can do the same for your sleep schedule. You can say, in a realistic way, okay, I'm going to finish work at this time. I'm going to have my dinner at this time. So you're bringing your routine that you used to use when you were a student into your sleep life. So that's how we pick up our strengths because sometimes, not sometimes, life will get in the way. But we
Mm-hmm.
need to pull into these strengths the things that matter to us in our life, our values, that combination again will override the motivation because people may rely on motivation, but you never feel like going to work every day. So the same for your health. You may never feel like going to bed on time because that series, I know I keep saying Netflix, but that series is so juicy and you want to keep watching. But the strength from your other areas of your life, your time management, your organization. So you plan your meal so that 8 o'clock, you're not chopping up the onions to cook up a meal. You use your organization skills. Okay, on the weekend, I'm going to make my meals. And then when I come from work, when I'm tired, there's a ready meal and I don't have to order pizza and take away, which is creating this vicious cycle to your energy that will
Mm-hmm.
affect your sleep. So that's how we use our strengths so that we can progress on the journey to sleeping better, even before motivation has even come into the picture.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this approach.
Yeah.
So this is, like you are taking, we would be taking therefore with this our strengths and connect it to the area of, health. So
Yes,
that means that is amazing. I would say we would need to remind this to ourselves more times, these approaches that you introduced today
definitely.
more.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so we are already now following it. We are using our strands. We
Yeah.
selectively select the strands that we have
Yeah.
and we are using them. We are working with them. But what if, we will be following it for 1 month? Perfect, genius, perfect results. We are already feeling empowered because we see the change. Then another month, life comes, there are another priorities, something happens. Like we have the tendency to fall behind, right? And what if another month we have a difficulties to follow up? So 1 quarter already is gone. Beginning we were great, then we were losing it, then we were returning to it, and then we are, like we are somewhere in the middle. So now I'm talking about the consistency. So
Mhm.
how to keep the momentum of this, of
Yeah.
using these approaches consistently on a long-term basis, right?
Yeah. Excuse me. So the best way, when life happens and you've thrown off and things have changed, we tend to focus on what's not working, which is good, but sometimes it's also good to see when I was doing it, when I was in my cycle of consistency, what was helping me. So you'll see when I had a routine, it was helping, but now I had a meeting, I traveled, and then the jet lag, and now I'm thrown off my routine.
Mhm.
So we look at, okay, how can we gently bring back your routine that you used to before you traveled? So basically, what I'm saying is, excuse me, look at what worked to help you to keep the consistency. That's where the formula is. So if you know, maybe before you travel on holiday, you get things organized so that when you come back, you're not having to do the laundry, do the cooking, do everything. The food is already there. You can come from your holiday, relax, go to work. So it's organization and just seeing what really worked, but then also looking at, okay, excuse me, I fell off. Why did I fall off? What happened? Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Mhm.
What happened for me to slip back to binge watching Netflix? Then you start to see the pattern. So sometimes it's good to also keep a tracker. You can use different apps. You can use, some people my clients like to put stuff on Excel if you're that kind of person, just to track and see, okay, on a Monday, my stress levels were high. So what do I usually do when my stress levels are high? I tend to just want to go on social media. So that's what happens. So you need to deal with the stress so that the stress doesn't lead you to go on social media for an extended to doom scroll. And then that way you're back on your routine. So sometimes it's reflecting and looking what happened on Monday that I ended up sleeping at 4 a.m. So once you tackle that, and also look back and see what used to work for me before on a Monday. Yes, you used to have the happy hour or whatever event after work, but you'd always make sure you left at a certain time. So you're picking on what used to work before and you're looking at what didn't work and getting to the root. So yes, you stayed up late, but what was the reason? It was stress. So maybe I need another stress coping mechanism. So maybe I could, if I love going for walks, I could walk, just finding what works for you. So this is how now you overcome the barrier. So again, it takes reflection and also giving yourself grace because sometimes you feel so you're hard on yourself and then that
Yes.
takes you out of the place, the positive place of keep going, keep going. So to keep yourself in that place of keep going, have grace for yourself that life will happen, but I will get back. And I get back by thinking what worked and what didn't work, and then I tap into that.
Beautiful. So what I'm saying, like that caught my attention. Also, what I'm saying, we are a lot of self-punishing ourselves, as if
Yes,
when we haven't been able to navigate it 1 month, like or 1 week, or like we went completely out of the tracking on, like thinking about changing the habits, changing the patterns. We have a
yes,
tendency, to be bad on ourselves. Okay, when I could not make it this time, I cannot make it,
right.
like overly and cannot overcome it.
Mhm.
So that is the thing. Then how, like how to bring that joy, right? So
Yes.
many times the tendency is I'm not feeling energized, and I'm not feeling energized long term,
Mhm.
right? So we're so self-punishing ourselves, I believe, that we
Yes,
are forgetting that we can return back to
yes,
feeling energized.
yes,
So in this case, when I see people and women, men, at 50 being at their best life condition, 60 even,
yes,
people they are.
yes,
So how can someone tell me that you cannot, or that he
exactly,
cannot, or she cannot,
exactly.
when other people can, right? So everything is possible at any stage.
Yeah.
So that is exactly what you are saying. So when it comes to your clients, can you
Mhm.
share with us some kind of a success stories, when they have been, successfully navigating this transition, or being extremely, like tired, or having the health problems, issues also with the sleeping, maybe they, exactly as you said, energy is a huge factor to navigating the life in all areas. So when they felt low in the energy, right? So what was the process, and like how they walked away through working with you? Maybe
Yeah.
what were their biggest pain points also over the journey?
Yeah. So there's one particular client who he had had trouble sleeping for 20 years, Simona.
Oh
And
my
this
God.
started, he was a doctor, and this started in medical school because in medical school, you're doing shift work,
Mhm.
your cycle is just messed up. So it never recovered. And then, like I said earlier at the beginning, we just get used to these things and you just keep going, keep pushing until the time when your energy is really low. And imagine in that position, just like in any other workplace, you need your mind to focus because if you make a mistake, it can really be detrimental. So he reached a point where he wanted to make a change. So that's when he came to me. And so we looked at what used to work before, because yes, the problem was long standing, 20 years, but before
Mm.
that 20 years, what worked? So what he realized was when he relaxed in the evening, that would help him to sleep. So I asked him, what would help you to relax? So for him, it was literally just being still, listening to calming music, and just unwinding from the day. But that was before he became a doctor. Now he's a doctor. He's got administration, work finishes late. So how can he get that relaxation time? So we had to look at his schedule to see because what was happening, he'll go to work maybe 8:30 to 6:30, so long hours, come home, maybe drive. I think he was driving maybe 45 minutes, then come home, have something quick, maybe do some exercises or go to the gym, then come home, have something to eat, then do administration work because there's no time in the day. So there's no time to relax. So we had to look at his schedule to see, okay, where can we get some time so that you can get your administration time, you can get your relaxation time, you can get your gym time without it creeping into the late hours of the night, and with the realistic fact that you're a GP, you're always going to be busy. He
Always, yeah.
wasn't in that, he wasn't in his own private practice where you can say, okay, I'm only going to see 10 clients. You're
Hmm.
working in the
Hmm.
health system. There's a certain amount of patients you need to see. So it took us time to go through his schedule every day, Simona. From Monday to Monday, we're looking what is happening here. Then the week after, we're looking at, okay, what can we start to shift and adjust? And then we did that process. He found
Hmm.
some time. And this is the thing, we don't have to start with, oh, I want 1 hour. We can start with 10 minutes. So we found, I think, 20 minutes. He used to like watching also series. So just a short series, just to relax. And Simona, that's how he started sleeping. So
So
it's a
this.
process that needs patience because changing our habits is difficult. We get used to being comfortable, and then it's hard. It's
Hmm.
hard. So anything hard is going to take time. Plus, now imagine 20 years of being in this cycle. It's going to take time to change it. And the
Hmm.
way to change it is not do it drastically, but small. So 10 minutes,
Hmm.
20 minutes. And then over time, you get confident in yourself, in your schedule. And now with these days where we have AI, you can use AI to help you do those notes. Then you're not spending 1 hour, you can spend maybe 30 minutes. So there you are, you've already got 30 minutes extra. That's your relaxing time. So
Yes.
that's how it started and that's how it ended up for him. So once he understood also that it's about not just the sleep, but that relaxation for him was really key.
But the
So yeah,
conscious relaxation, yes.
yes, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
once we could find a way to adjust the schedule realistically, get some time, start somewhere, start small. Then it became a daily routine. On the weekend, he'll do his cooking and then he'll go to the gym on the weekends. There was time to do the gym in the week, maybe 3 times a week, and he was happy with that. So again, it was, what would you be happy with? Okay, 3 times a week, that's fine. So it's not me telling them how to do their schedule, it's them to see, Tracy, this will work for me. Let's do it. We try, and then
Hmm.
it becomes a new way. And then now that's how he gets to sleep, gets to be energized, gets to feel like, yeah, I can do this. And that's how the consistency goes.
Yes, I find it fascinating the way you were identifying the time,
Mhm.
right? So that is for the people to look where we are losing the time.
Yes.
We're losing in general the time.
Mhm.
So now with the AI, and this is exactly you're adding this approach. Like many people are also afraid of AI, but okay,
Yeah.
now also if we transition a little bit the mindset that we have towards this technology, that we can efficiently use it for finding more time. Let's put it on this way, so that we can win with that, right? We can win that our time that we can use for conscious relaxation then,
Yeah.
right? So, what is the one thing? What is the one thing that you wish that every exhausted woman, man over 40, close to 40, knew about the sleep?
Yeah.
Some secret.
Yes. I don't think so many people connect that your sleep is so important because it does so many things. It affects your metabolism. So that's where now your energy will come from. It affects your immunity. So if you're someone who is always catching a cold, catching this, look at your quality of sleep. If you're not sleeping well, that could be an indicator that, okay, I need to work on my sleep. Sleep affects your weight management. So again, maybe someone feels, oh, I'm really managing my portions and the weight is just not coming off. Look at your sleep. For women who are going through perimenopause, menopause, oh, the hot flashes and this and this. And sometimes some women don't understand that just because we go through perimenopause or menopause doesn't mean there's nothing you can do about it. One of the big things you can do about it is working on your sleep. So sleep is so important, even for underlying conditions, chronic conditions, because when you're not sleeping well, your body doesn't get the chance to repair and to take care of itself. So that's when you're more likely, or inflammatory processes are more likely, and that can be the cause of chronic illness. So if you're
Mhm.
thinking your underlying condition has suddenly flared up, look at your sleep. Are you getting quality sleep? That could be a huge contribution. Why? So if we see how sleep is not just for rest, it's helping your immunity, your emotions, your mental health. If you're not sleeping well, you wake up ratty, irritable, maybe just having a go and at people, but it's not because you're a bad person. You didn't get enough sleep. Your body is tired. So
Mhm.
sleep impacts so every area of our
Oh my
of our
God.
health.
Now I'm thinking about how many bad sleepers you can identify.
There's so many. There are so many. So what I'd like people to really
Someone is
think,
angry. This is you were not sleeping properly
yeah,
tonight.
it's true. And even sometimes maybe
Yeah.
because it's not the way I was taught in my health coaching training. As I said, even in my pharmacy, we weren't taught like this. And so sometimes even in the discussions I've had with doctors, they too weren't given this connection, but now they are understanding it. So I know there's one doctor in any consultation he has with a patient, after they've told him what's going on, he will also ask them, how is your sleep? Because your
Mhm.
sleep is regulating your whole body. So I'd like for us, as challenging as it may be, just remember we can do something, believe you can do something, and you'll see that energy will come up. You feel good. You wake up more energized. You feel focused for the day, even though the day may be unpredictable. But because you've slept well, your body is in that ability to show resilience even when things are going helter skelter. So sleep is your weapon to your health. That's
Is
what I'd
your
love.
weapon is your cure, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you so much. Tell us, Tracy, if someone is therefore listening us and is thinking about, okay, this sounds truly like me. Yeah.
Mhm.
What we are identifying here, the person having this problem. So how they can find more of work with you, or what is that, like that you can potentially introduce that you're working with, maybe your programs. You can tell us a little bit about what you have at your place, for the people, for the audience.
Yes. So what I love to do is helping people on a one-to-one basis. So what I do, we do 12 sessions. Because imagine if you're trying to work on your sleep, it takes time. And I don't believe in quick fixes. So I'm not going to tell you in 2 weeks your sleep will be grand. Because what I want you to do is understand why it's been a problem, understand what can we do to overcome the problem, try it, and then do it, get the results while we're still together. So by the time our sessions are finished, you're confident that I know what was the problem. I now have the solution. I have tried it. It's been working and I can keep it going. That keep it going is why I do it for 12 sessions. So that's the kind of work I like to do one to one. Sometimes I'll do a group session because sometimes not everyone is ready for one to one sessions. So they like to be in a small group and then they hear, oh, you also struggle with this? I do too. So it
Mhm,
just gives
mhm,
them that safety and just that reassurance that, oh, it's not only me who struggles. So I do that. Sometimes I'll be invited to do speaking events. So I just help people in any way I can, in any way an individual or a company would like me to support their employees. So the best way is on my website. There's a link you can click, or I can share with Simona my details, and we can have a 20-minute conversation just to hear what's going on with you, where you're struggling, and then I can tell you, okay, this is something we can work on together. And then we work
mhm.
together and you get that energy back. You feel yourself again and live the life that you want, not the life that you've settled for.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful introduction also for the people so that they can really know, like how long at least, as from the beginning, it takes minimum, like the time. Yes. So
Yes.
changing their habits
Hmm.
would be definitely something, that will take a longer term. It's
Yes.
not that quick,
Yes.
but working with you can definitely help,
Yeah.
the people. Let's say, like that there are people that they're already kind of they can identify themselves as the retired bed sleepers, chronicle,
Yeah.
which I think it's many of us.
It's many.
Right? It's many of us. So we can
Mhm.
send them to you
Yes.
directly.
Send
So
them away because
Chronicle, these
yeah,
energized, badly sleeping people are coming to you, Tracy.
I welcome them with open arms.
That is wonderful. So, yes, I would like to thank you, Tracy, for being here today with me, for giving us so many valuable approaches and also the mindset shifts
Mhm.
in, perceiving of how we are, like taking care of ourselves
Mhm.
and, like also of our bodies, our sleep, and multiple areas in our life.
Mhm.
So,
Thank
thank
you so
you.
much. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation. So thank you to Simona.
Most welcome. And for our audience, I will share all the resources from the Tracy, also introducing her program down below this discussion. And I'm sure that you will be in the best hands for, gaining that energy which you want to have
Yeah,
as
for sure.
everyone, as
For sure. They'll be
everyone.
in good hands, for sure.
Thank you